Welcome, I'm David.
I'm Lindsay.
And
this is Desmonds Donders.
Hello, and welcome to this week's Wednesday video. And it's a 1 week reprieve for the waffle. I'm going to read or go through what videos we've got coming up this week and next week, of course, and then a bit of chat about what we've been up to, what we're planning, and then we'll get on with the topic of this week's video. But what we got for you? Floating above the river. It's the second part of this week's Grantown and Spey videos. More of that later. And then next week we have 2 videos so far. That is Monday, Calm Waters, a lovely loch, and Airborne at the loch on Friday. Then, of course, there may be some more news and footage on Wednesday. Well, actually, there isn't, but we'll come to that in a minute. So, what have we been up to? Well, it was early May bank holiday weekend. So we headed north in a longer than normal trip. By our own rules, we're allowed, because it's a 3-day weekend, and we went to Lochmeady. Had a great time. Weather wasn't so hot on Saturday, but on Sunday it improved, and on Monday it wasn't bad before we had to come home. But that also leads on to why there will be a Wednesday video next week, and that will be reference what we saw both on the way up in the dark in our headlights, which didn't really register, but on the way down we saw it, and it can only be described as desecration. And I'll tell you more next week. But this week, and this one's kind of a hard one for me, but not. And before I continue on, can I say anybody with mental health problems, please reach out, ask for help, and get help if at all possible. Even if it's just talking to a member of your family or a friend. Yeah. Okay. This isn't directly about mental health, but it is about the fact, or it does have to do with the fact that I've been suffering problems for some time now, and I'm on regular medication and have to... What on earth is going on with these lights? Just a quick diversion. I mean, they're quite bright, and then they're dim, and then they're bright, and it's the normal 3 lights and nothing's changed. Anyway, to get back to it, I have had problems for many years, and I'm on medication. I've been on medication of one type or another for years. But I also suffer, no, I don't suffer from it, I suffer from diabetes, and there's a lot of medication involved with that, and repeat prescriptions. And the repeat prescription, they give me 2 lots of 28 days repeat prescription. So every 56 days I put in the same prescription for the same meds. Sometimes it changes, sometimes it doesn't. Now, the start of this story from the point of view of the involvement of the NHS and the GP surgery is a few months ago, when I started having problems with shakes, and to the point where I couldn't hold a cup of tea. And it was a problem. So I arranged an appointment, had an appointment, no problem, went up for the appointment, and he explained what was going on. I'd have to see a specialist, and if there was a problem before I saw the specialist, phone the surgery, arrange to speak to him, and he'd arrange for some medication that could help. Anyway, I hadn't felt anything for ages. It wasn't getting any worse, it was not getting any better, but I taught myself to use my left hand a bit more because the shake was in my right. I then had need to phone up the doctor because it was getting really bad, and the left hand was giving it and the right hand was giving it really, really bad. The only plus side, if you like to call it a plus side, is my right hand was when I picked something up, my left hand was when it was laying still, so I could still, get by. The doc, I explained to the secretary that I'd got through to, when I got through, that the doc had this appointment, and the doc had said, and she said, yeah, no problem. I'd get a phone call appointment from him. She wasn't sure when, but he would get back to me. And he did. Give him his due, he got back to me. And denied all knowledge of the previous appointment, despite there being a computer in front of him, I know, with that information on. I had to take him up on that because that morning I had a letter from the hospital saying they'd received his words, and they'd arranged in due time for an appointment, and they hoped I'd appreciate that they were still recovering from COVID and there would still be it might be a delay. So I said to him about it, and he ended the appointment anyway. The next thing to happen is a few days later I was due to put in a repeat, and I did. I put it in, and I've been putting the repeat in. It says 48 hours, but I've been putting them 72 hours because they get them wrong occasionally. And I put it in, went up for my prescription from the pharmacy, and had a tiny little packet. Now I don't have one now because it's not time to get, but it's big. My normal packet of drugs. It's not a small bag. When they still used plastic bags, it came in a carrier bag, and now it comes in 2 brown paper bags, which are about the same size as a carrier bag. But anyway, they're digressing again. But I had a tiny little packet. When I opened it, it wasn't what I'd asked for. Wasn't what I put on repeat. Wasn't what I'd had on repeat for the last 10 plus years. In fact, it's longer even than that. And it's more than that. Anyway, so I was taking Lindsay to work in the car, so we'd stopped together, and Lindsay'd gone in and came out. So that means the time would be about between 11:15 and 11 o'clock. Now, the pharmacist walks up at midday to get the day's prescriptions, to bring them down to prep them for the next day. It's been the thing for years. So anyway, we phoned up, said, look, you've sent me the wrong things, you've sent me X, Y and Z, and I said I'd ordered A through whatever. And I said, oh no, we put the right things. And they said if they've got if that's not what I needed, they'd send an emergency appointment, an emergency prescription. and that the chemist didn't shut till 5:30, so I should be okay. Right. And I said, well, I've got to be somewhere else at 4 o'clock, so I would need to have it by then if possible. She just repeated the emergency appointment thing. So we thought, we'll say, see how it goes. Well, she's promised me it'd be there, but I've asked for it for 4 o'clock and it's not going to happen at 4 o'clock apparently, even though the guy's going up. Okay, so I took Lindsay to work. I came back, realised I had something on my phone so that I could put my mind at rest anyway. Because of the number of mistakes over the years, I photographed my prescription before I put it in so that I can resubmit it that way if necessary. And lo and behold, there on my prescription on my phone was that I had asked for the right stuff. I had asked for everything I need. Some of the stuff I was due to run out of that day, and if I hadn't had it, I knew my depression was going to kick in, which would have kicked in the anxiety and would have kicked in the touch of PTSD and all the rest of it. And anyway, I went up at 5 to 4, and the pharmacy, the chemist, knew what was going on, what was right. And she said, "We've not had it yet." I said, "Oh, okay, I'll sit and wait." Bang on 4 o'clock, the phone rang. Yeah. She took down the details and we go on from there. We had my pharmacy, my prescription phone through at 4 o'clock. They give them the due up at the chemist. They made up my prescription very quickly and I was out of there quickly. And all the time she was apologising. I was saying to her, it's not your problem, it's, what's going on up the street and blah blah blah. Anyway, I got my prescription in the end, but they put barriers in the way that I was having difficulty dealing with, believe me. I can only sit and talk about this now because I'm on my meds. Oh dear, it's difficult to say. It's difficult to talk about as well. Anyway, we went off. We were on holiday that week, and that's one of the reasons I needed them, because I couldn't go, into the next week without them. Anyway, off we went. We had our week away, and I had an appointment to talk to the psychiatrist. I can never get them the right way around. And he was asking, what had happened, if there was anything, how the holiday had gone, all the usual chat that we have. And he asked, he knew about my shakes, and I told him what had happened, and he said, "That's ridiculous." He says, "I'm going to email them now. Give it 48 hours and see what you get." So he must have done, because 24 hours later I got a text from the surgery and a message from the pharmacy that they were, my prescription was going to be ready to pick up. There you go. Somebody knew I needed it. Anyway, that's why, although they did a grand job with COVID, under pressure, etc., etc., I'm not sure what the GP surgery are doing now. Whatever it is, I don't see any benefit from them having less pressure on them. they seem to have more people doing the same job they were doing before. And nobody seems to be doing my prescription. Anyway, I will continue taking pictures of it. They are... Lindsay is aware, and at least one person up there is aware, that I don't like taking the tablets, and that if I don't get them again, I don't want them again. As easy as that. Now, if I haven't dragged on too long, there will be some drone footage. Enjoy the videos coming up, and if you want to see some desecration, join us next Wednesday.
Thank you for watching Desmonds Donders. And remember, please take nothing but memories and leave nothing but tracks. Please subscribe and ring the bell for notifications, and hopefully we'll see you next time.